Good morning, RJ Baxter here, Fairway Independent Mortgage with your Saturday strategy. And this is my dog Murphy. He's joining us today for the video. I'm on my way to Winter Park this morning. It was so beautiful. I got Berthoud Pass behind me here that I wanted to pull over. I thought this was a great spot to do the video today. And I want to talk this week about the forbearance situation. And strategically, this is a good thing for you guys to know as real estate agents if it comes up in conversations with your buyers and sellers. I was talking to an agent this week, and we were talking about how, as a real estate agent, it's not your job to know the lender's job and vice versa, not our job to know the real estate agent's job. But I think it's our professional responsibility to at least know a little bit so that we can talk intelligently on the main highlights of the other person's field. So having us as mortgage lenders know a little bit about real estate and then vice versa. So that's why I wanted to share this with you, because we got some exciting news last week on this forbearance situation. If you're not familiar with what a forbearance is when a homeowner who has a mortgage enters into an agreement with their loan servicer to defer their payments for a certain number of months, 3 months, 6 months. And then when they're through the forbearance period, they have to enter into a repayment agreement to repay those deferred payments. The problem we are seeing is that through COVID, the media, the government, they put out inaccurate information that anyone could call up their servicers without even having a hardship of any type, and they could enter into an agreement, and it was like having a skip payment that they didn't have to pay back, or that the payment would be tacked on to the end of the loan. And we found out through the process of this happening quite a bit, 7 to 8% of homeowners entered into forbearance agreements in the past 2 months is the statistics I've heard, which is a lot of people. And some of those people were doing it even though they didn't have a hardship. So they were unknowingly putting their ability to get a mortgage in the future in jeopardy, because the previous guideline is that on a Fannie Mae Freddie Mac loan, if someone enters into forbearance, they had to wait 12 months after coming out of the forbearance before they could qualify for a new conventional loan. And this applies whether they skipped a payment or not. Sometimes people would enter into forbearances, especially recently, as more of an insurance policy in case they got into a hardship so that it was there, but they kept making their payments even though they were in the forbearance. So this is a big issue because people unknowingly might have been putting their ability to do a refinance or to move and buy a different house in jeopardy. So last week we got some great news that the government clarified the guidelines around COVID, and they said that there's actually, I want to say this, there's 3 potential scenarios with a forbearance. The first is what I mentioned before: someone goes into the forbearance but they never ever skip a payment. The next option, or the next scenario, is that they enter into the forbearance, and when the forbearance is up, they repay the entire deferred amount at the end of the forbearance. And then the third potential scenario is that the person defers some payments, and then when the forbearance is up, they enter into a repayment plan agreement with the servicer, whether it's to spread that amount over the course of their next 12 or 24 payments, which makes their mortgage payment go up, or whatever the case may be. So the government clarified how these 3 scenarios work, these 3 main scenarios. The first one, if someone never did ever skip a payment, they're eligible immediately for a conventional loan now with this clarification. This is great news. So they don't even have to be out of the forbearance. If we can show that they never skipped a payment, then they can qualify right now. The second scenario, if they repay the entire amount once they're out of the forbearance, they're eligible then immediately once they get out of the forbearance. This is if they deferred the payments and didn't make the payments during the forbearance. And then the third scenario is if they enter into a repayment plan for the deferred payments. We just have to show that they made 3 on-time payments with the new agreement, and then they can qualify for a conventional loan after that. So this is great news for our home buyers, home sellers, so that they can qualify sooner for a conventional loan if they did enter into forbearance. So if you or someone you know is in this situation, please forward this video. Use this as information in your tool belt as you're out there talking to buyers and sellers this weekend. And of course, I'm always here for you as a resource if you have any questions or want to run specific scenarios past me. So you guys have a great weekend. I appreciate you watching. I'm going to continue down Berthoud Pass to Winter Park, and you guys have a great day. Thanks.